We've seen the controversies that Mr. Trump has faced. It's become fuel for his campaign. Do you think the federal indictment and all this media attention, this chapter, will be any different?
Well, I think it's a sad day for America, Adrienne. And as I write in my column today, this didn't have to happen. It was brought on by Trump's personality and his ego. This could have been settled. He could have invited representatives from the National Archives to come to Mar-a-Lago and to negotiate what they wanted for the archives and what he was allowed to keep. It would have been so simple and none of this would happen. On the other hand, the Trump supporters, the ever-Trumpers, will see this, partially rightly, I think, as a double standard when it comes to who they're going to indict, who they're going to try. You've got Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. Those stories are well known. And you have situations going back to, let's take a look at Lyndon Johnson, who lied about the Vietnam War, leading to 57,000 dead Americans. Was that more important than what we're seeing right now with Donald Trump? You had George W. Bush, wrong intelligence about Iraq, more American soldiers killed and wounded in that fiasco with Saddam Hussein. So a lot of people see a two-tier justice system in this country. And when you lose faith in the justice system, the FBI, the Department of Justice, then you lose faith in the law. And that's bad for the country, no matter what side you're on.
But I'm glad that you're putting it into some sort of historical context, because people say unprecedented, and then they look at this case in a vacuum when, as you mentioned, all these high-level, high-security cases, we don't know if all of those documents that the former president had led to a national security threat. But critics would say this indictment has so much evidence that it's very clear-cut as to what the former president is guilty of. Meanwhile, supporters, including some of his attorneys, saying, you didn't get all up in a huff about Hillary Clinton's emails. Can you compare some of these cases, or is it apples to oranges?
Well, I think it's apples and apples, frankly. I mean, Hillary Clinton had 37,000 emails. She destroyed hard drives and BlackBerries, cell phones with hammers. I mean, you can't get any more direct than that. But again, as many have written, and Alan Dershowitz had a good column in yesterday's Wall Street Journal, we have to look at the long term on this. This was brought exclusively on himself, Donald Trump, much like Richard Nixon. If Richard Nixon had said in the Watergate affair, look, I take full responsibility for what happened with the break-in at Democratic National Headquarters. I didn't order it, but these people did it on my watch. He would have served out a second term. You'll remember, well, maybe you won't remember, you're too young, but in the interview Nixon did with David Frost after he left office, Nixon said that if you're president, you can do certain things that don't apply to other people. The law doesn't apply to you. Now, that's the kind of thing that gets you in trouble with the public and with the legal system. So I think we need to clean up the Justice Department from top to bottom, not just the Attorney General, not just the FBI director, but go through the entire system that went down to Peter Strzok and his girlfriend, who guaranteed that Trump was not going to be elected in 2016. There's a real virus loose in our criminal justice system. And indicting and trying a former president is going to come back to haunt the Democrats in the future.
But I hear you saying two things, and I just want to clarify. I hear you saying that the president or the former president brought all of this on himself, and then I also hear that you want more accountability and a change to the justice system. Which is weightier?
Well, I think that you can hold two contradictory ideas at the same time. I think both are true. The justice system is polluted. It is corrupted. But again, Donald Trump brought this on himself. If he had been more compliant with what the National Archives wanted, invited them into his house at Mar-a-Lago, let them see all the boxes and take what they thought were classified documents and leaving him with the rest, we wouldn't be facing this today in Miami, and Trump would be out on the campaign trail unimpeded by any of this. Now, he and some of his supporters think that this is going to benefit him politically. Maybe it will. You know, he said even if he's convicted, he's still going to run. You talk about unprecedented. This would be incredible.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.